Okay, I'm going to do little budgeting tips and tricks from like my personal experience. Some of the big like relocation costs that you would like to keep in mind as you typically don't receive your first paycheck until like possibly the second week or the following week. It just depends. You get that paycheck, that extra relocation cost. So that reimbursement typically comes, I would say, on your first paycheck, but we can't guarantee that. I would hope maybe the second. Um, so for the security deposit on your place, I would say is typically around $500, depends on where it is. But what I did is I was offered Rhino, so you can always check to see if that's available. And because that was easier for me to do $14 a month. I think that's what it came out to instead of paying that huge chunk up front. So yeah, just ask whoever you're renting through if that option is offered. Something to keep in mind are some of your first big purchases. And for number one, I put groceries because while you are able to receive EBT, it typically isn't received until a month into service. So it's best to just prepare to buy that first round of groceries on your own. So keeping that in mind. Some random incidentals would be like your household supplies. That's anything with your kitchen, like pots and pans and all that. Cleaning if you need like a vacuum, any kind of like household items is basically what I had. Um, Furniture, and that could be your bed, bedding, couch, and all that. And I put a little note here for furniture. Um, I'd say the best place to start looking is Facebook Marketplace. If you put in your location, there's so many free options. However, the only issue is that you do need your own car to pick it up from someone else. But if you do have a car, I'd say definitely start there. Goodwill has a few good options for furniture as well. Um, Target is a great start as well as IKEA, but can be a little bit more on the expensive side. Um, and then next door is kind of similar to Facebook Marketplace. You kind of need a car to go pick it up. What I did is I use this place called Rent-A-Center. They do like monthly payments instead of paying again that big chunk. It was a lot easier for me to divvy up my costs and do it monthly, instead of having all that expected to pay right away. They do all the transportation, they set it up for you in your apartment. So that's just a good place to start. There are a couple locations in Denver. Okay, some housing costs, monthly rent. So I left this average kind of blank because this can be different. I lived alone and I was kind of like desperate to find a place last minute as a mid-year. My rent was about $1,050 a month. That was living alone in a one bedroom. That was my choice. I could have found probably a studio for cheaper if I was living alone. But I would say your monthly rent for if you go through any of the sources that Brenna had offered, I would say is about $600 to $800. And especially if you have roommates, that could look cheaper or more expensive, depends on what kind of place you are looking for. Utilities, again, I'm going to preface that I lived alone. So my utilities were typically $15 to $20 a month. And I used Excel Energy, Excel Energy, which was fairly cheap, I thought. My water was included, but that was like heat, electricity, and all that gas. And again, if you're living alone, or you'll split that cost if you have roommates. I think it's typically all around the same. For internet, I just was not aware that you could use Xfinity, which is we qualify for $10 a month with your EBT card. So if you, like I said, we don't typically get that until a month into service. So in the meantime, I would suggest like going to a coffee shop and using their Wi-Fi if you ever need it. Like if you're never not in the office, which you typically are, um, or in the school, which has Wi-Fi. But yeah, I did CenturyLink, which was like $40 a month, which is a lot, but I did it for my own like internet home, like TV, if I needed to use my computer kind of thing. So yeah, I would budget that in. For food. Okay. So we are eligible for SNAP benefits, which typically gives you around $250 a month. And it can be used at any grocery stores, gas stations. I know that it does not work for like ready hot meals. You can't like go pick up like trying to think like a rotisserie chicken kind of thing, but any like cold meal like Trader Joe's, so good to pick up their like pre-made salads and wraps. I do that for lunch a lot. Um, it carries over each month and will never expire. So if you don't use all of it first month, you'll have even more the next month. And it's the same as a debit card. You will set it up, set up a PIN. It's just swipe at a store and type in your PIN. One thing I do want to note is, and we'll be here like kind of reminding people that you have to reapply every 6 months. So this will be good for your first semester. And then you want to do it again for the second semester. Okay, some other kind of expenses you'll need to is if you enjoy working out and want to stay like doing that. I know Planet Fitness offers a $10 a month membership for just their basic membership. And if you do want to do their like more detailed membership, that looks to be about like $40 a month. But I mean, all you really need is just use of the equipment. So that will get you to $10 a month. Um, there are some fitness apps you can do. I know even free ones, like you can go on YouTube and do like workouts on there, or they have apps such as like Peloton, which is around $13 a month if you wanted to do that. If you are looking to do like a private gym, just remember that's a little more expensive, such as like Orange Theory or Cycle Bar, that can look to be about $80 to $100 a month. So that's just something to keep in mind as well for budgeting. Okay, some other and miscellaneous costs. I would say gas, because you're driving to and from. Typical, I saw someone else say about $40 a week. My experience was not that. I got lucky. I was super close to my school. I wasn't driving as much. So I did like say about $40 bi-weekly. If I like sometimes I could stretch it, make it go a little longer. But yeah, like I said, it's all dependent on your location to your school and what else you're doing on your own time. But if you're really just doing it to go for work and you have a good location, like you're close to where you live, you're really not driving that much. If you plan to travel at all during service, budget any holiday trips or any just personal trips you have planned. And then if camping, money for gas occasions, kind of like what I said earlier, if you're driving on your own time, consider that for gas money. Yeah, but holiday trips are probably your most keep in mind. I know I was in Denver and I wanted to travel to Cleveland, and that was buying that airfare because we don't have as much time to drive all the way that 18 hours. But yeah, any big trips or holidays. I know you've got Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of thing if that's what you plan on going home for. So yeah. Okay, uniform, black pants. You can get any kind from Target, Gap, or Walmart. I recommend Walmart. They have very like good cheap work pants. That's from personal experience, not even just from working at City Year. I was a server and a bartender, and I was able to get like straight black pants from Walmart for very cheap. Um, yeah, some black shoes. I would say the most popular choice for City Year is Vans. That's what a lot of people have. And just a reminder, they do have to be black shoes, but if they have like a little white in them or something, that is a okay. Target, I found durable black tennis shoes on sale for super cheap. I mean, they got the job done. They were like just plain black platform shoes. They worked perfectly fine. Again, I've found black tennis shoes at Walmart as well. All of other uniform necessities are provided by City Year. So that's your shirts, your polos, backpack, anything else that you'll need for the actual in school is provided for you. You are just responsible for the black pants and black shoes. Okay, some things to do. There are so many parks and walking trails around Denver, and I mean a lot. There are so many little parks. Even if you, my favorite, personal favorite is Cheeseman Park. I just do a bunch of laps, and that's a good kind of gets my workout in, and also a minute to be alone and in nature. So I love the parks in Denver. Um, There is a Volo Sports League going from there's volleyball, kickball, pickleball, a bunch of different sports to do. Typically it does cost around like $70 to $80 to join. So that would just be something if you're looking to meet new people, I would save up, maybe do this. There are so many places that you get discounted admissions for with your EBT card. It can be up to $1 or free, and that includes museums, the Botanic Gardens, and the Denver Zoo. I know there's a $5 movie Tuesdays at AMC theaters if you're a member, and I think it's free to become a member if you just want to do that. It's just kind of like keeping you in the loop of all the movies. I know I love the movie theater, love it. So a $5 movie Tuesdays is huge. Yeah. Okay, a little more expensive would be your skiing. We do have in Denver so many resorts to ski at. The Icon and Epic Pass are typically around $600, $800. So a little bit of an investment, but if you are a really big skier and want to go out on a Saturday, I'd say it's worth it if you can budget that in and save up. Because I'd say typically a day pass to go skiing is around $250. So if you get your use in and you think it's something you'll actually do, I'd say it's worth it. If you don't own your own equipment, there are annual rentals for about $150 that gets you from typically like October to end of spring kind of thing. And you can either do Larson's Ski and Sport or Christie Sports. They both have rental options, and they do have like weekend options if that's something you want to do too. Hiking and camping, I mean, that's all free if you have the equipment like tents and all that. But I would definitely consider downloading All Trails. It gives you like it even gives you the parks in Denver. It gives you everything, just free little things around Denver, trails to do. So definitely look into downloading All Trails. Okay, so I kind of did a sample budget on my end. So monthly pay, I'd say it comes out to about $1,800. Again, this can look different for some people. This is just what mine looked like based off my 2 paychecks monthly or ish. Yeah, so 1050 of that went to my rent, not about went to my rent. And I'd say with utilities and internet, I was looking at about $50. Gas monthly, again, I said 40 because I could make mine last about 3 weeks if I really needed to. Just I had a very good location in my school. I was super close. Yeah, groceries, I typically spend about $150 a month. Again, I know it looks different for some people, but I get like your basics. Like, yeah. However, we receive that EBT of $250 a month. So my own dime was really like $0 monthly. I was able to get everything I needed through the money given through EBT. And then miscellaneous and fun, I said about $80 monthly. Yeah, I have another sample budget on the next page with an individual who did this last year, and maybe it'll reflect more like you, but this is what mine looked like living alone and all that. So definitely manageable, but kind of tight as well. So this was from Eva. She did this last year. Monthly pay. Wait, okay. She said hers looked like about 1,100. Yeah, so rent, hers was about $800 a month. Utilities, internet, hers was 25. So she was able to use that Xfinity, which is like that $10 internet, which is super nice. She allocated about $60 for gas a month. Groceries, again, $200 a month from that EBT food stamp card. Gym, she put $100, so that would be more of like a private gym if you needed. I personally just did a lot of outdoor activity kind of thing. Miscellaneous and fun, she had $185. So hers looks a lot different from mine. So yeah, that's just kind of how she would budget. And yeah, it's kind of, I think that's it. Yeah, thank you.